So I was looking for something to enhance my cooking. I didn't know what to do. I was looking on Amazon a ton. I was looking at a bunch of different websites. I was reading a ton of different reviews for some air fryers and other things that are like popular now and are more of a trend, which I've heard a ton about. And I ended up stumbling across this NuWave Bravo, which is like an oven, looks like, but it does everything. That's why it looks like an oven. It does everything. It air fries. It's seared. It does everything. It has a temperature probe that tells you what your actual temperature is digitally on the clock. That's my favorite thing too, is that it has a digital screen display, which is extremely easy opposed to like weird tinkering of plastic like knobs and you have to make sure that they're reading the right thing. So I eventually pulled the trigger and bought this, and I'm extremely excited to keep using it. I've been using it for a couple weeks, and the Bravo has done every single thing that I could potentially need to cook, which is nice when you are on a time restraint or you are cooking every meal every day for while you're sitting at home during COVID. So this is a perfect thing. It has a bunch of different things that you can put inside of it, like different trays, different broiling trays, just regular racks for toasting. You could take all of these trays out if you wanted to and put an entire chicken in there and it'll cook it within an hour, 45 minutes. I think it even does it quicker than that. So I'm excited to use it. I've been using it a lot, but I'm excited to see like what I can do even more with it. I've even looking at, I'm modifying a lot of my recipes. So say there's something I find in my cookbook that I like, I go, okay, I'm gonna follow this recipe, but what's the way to air fry it? What's the way to toast it? What's the way to do all that in this Bravo, because it's so much easier and the clean is so much easier. You get this tray, so a lot of the times you have an oven and everything's dripping down in the oven. You have to sit there and scrape it, and you have to, it's hot, and then it starts burning, and then there's a lot of smoke, and your smoke detector comes off. But this has this tray that comes just out. It's stainless steel, so it's actually really easy to clean. So I let it get as messy as it possibly can, and I don't care, because I just rip the rack out after it cools off, and I clean that on its own. The same with all the racks in here. These come out. You can keep one or two, take them all out. You put one at the bottom so you can fit like that big chicken in there. I usually just keep both in here because I'm always cooking stuff. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff you can do with this. There's a lot of things that you wouldn't even think about. So I usually make my potatoes on the stove, and sometimes I don't know, like if I dice up my potatoes, I'll put it on the pan. It usually will take like 30, 20 minutes, and I don't even know if I'm getting it like too soft or too hard or it's cooking through all the way. And with this, I think I put it at 425. I let it roast the potatoes for about 15, 20 minutes, and quicker than that, and it just automatically from all sides does all the potatoes perfectly after I'm done seasoning it. So that's helped out a ton. This has just been a real lifesaver because I'm not trying to eat out as much. So this is, you could put, I mean, if you're not one to even cook, you could put frozen meals in here and buy those if you wanted to save money. You could do anything like that. I prefer to cook my stuff though, so this saves a lot of time. I'm telling you, when you're making breakfast and okay, breakfast takes an hour, then you go up to lunch. Lunch takes another hour, hour and a half. Then you're making a really nice dinner. That could be around another hour. This saves like time for in between those meals. If you wanted just a super easy breakfast, if you wanted to make something the day before, make a bunch of frozen burritos, throw a frozen breakfast burrito in there and it'll heat it up for you. It really does everything that I can think to cook, reheat, anything else. And I have a microwave and an oven, and I haven't touched either since I got this because it's just honestly both combined. I didn't even realize how many things that you could do with this until the menu pops up and you can show every single thing that you can do. I mean, it advertised a lot, but I wasn't really looking when I bought it, and there's so many things. So if you look here, you can go through, you have air fry first, you could bake, which I want to get into baking, so that'll be a lot helpful than an oven. You could broil. You could dehydrate. I'm really excited about this one because I like to dehydrate fruit, so that would be really cool. I don't even have a dehydrator, or maybe beef jerky. Frozen, you can grill. Then it goes down to like, it tells you actual food, so pizza, you don't even have to think about the temperature or anything. Reheat, anything that you just had leftovers. Roast, slow roast. Toast, I've been using every single morning. And then you got yogurt. And now another cool thing is that there's actually an option to change the top or bottom temperature. So there's two different heating elements in this NuWave Bravo. So on the top and bottom, there's two different infrareds. So what you need to do is you can set the top, like say you're making pizza, for example, you don't want the top to be scorching, so say you put it at 60 or 50. Then you hit top or bottom again, and you get to change the percentage of what the heat is at the bottom. So you want it, say you want it 100 because you want the actual crust really crispy. Then you hit start, then you can change the temperature again of what you need it to be. And now it's going to preheat. When that fan's on, it's just going to be preheating up until it'll ding, it'll let you know when it's there, and then it'll give you the time for what timer you want to put on it. But another way, if you don't want to go that way, if you looked up a recipe for air frying and they tell you what to do and it's not a preheat, all you can do is clear this, go to the temperature time. So you pick the time first. So say, I don't know, like wings I did the other day, it was set 15 minutes. So I automatically put 15. Then you pick the temperature, which this one said 425. So I'll change there. Now it's blinking and it's already preheating, which is really easy. It notifies you when it's done, so if you're running around doing other stuff, it'll ding and it'll let you know, which is very useful. One of the other things that I didn't realize when I bought it that it came with, which is one of my favorite features, is the electronic probe that it comes with. I have other thermometers that we use, and they're kind of like they tinker weird, and you don't even know exactly if they're accurate. So you actually plug this in. This is clearly heat resistant with the cable, so you're able to just shove it in there. I was doing chicken wings the other day, and mid cooking it, you can throw that in, put the probe on, stick it into the chicken, and then it'll digitally read it here, so you know exactly what temperature it is, which is way better than looking at a messed up, like little tinkered thermometer. So that worked out perfectly. Also, on top of the probe, one of my other favorite features is the light, so you can actually see how it's cooking, everything that's going on. And you can see everything through the light, which is extremely helpful. I know for some of your recipes it'll say air fry until you can see the sauce sizzle, or air fry until the cheese is brown. It's like super easy to look at. You don't have to open up your oven or anything like that, so that's very helpful. Here's my review of the Bravo. I love it. I've loved it for the last couple weeks, so I'm excited to see what else I can make with it. So far, everything has worked extremely well. I like toasting stuff, which is my favorite thing about it. It toasts way better than a regular toaster, which I already have, so I really recommend it. Even if you're using toast, this does toast super easily. I recommend it for anyone that likes vegetables, who likes to roast their vegetables. That's another thing that I love about this. It's stainless steel. Everything is super easy to clean, which is really nice. I also like how everything is stainless steel inside and very like removable, and you can dishwash it. That is a way bigger difference than anything that you have in an oven. I mean, some big ovens you can take the racks out, but the racks are that big, and you can't throw that in the dishwasher, you can't throw that in the sink. So that's one of my favorite things, is it's really clean. It looks really sleek. It doesn't look like bulky in a kitchen by any means. I mean, we store mine right in the corner, and it looks like a cool appliance along with everything else that's in my kitchen, so that's really nice. My favorite thing opposed to like other types of things I've tried with this is the digital aspect of the screen is really awesome. It shows everything that you can do. If you don't know what you're doing, it'll give you presets, and if you know what you're doing, you can change it to exactly the right temperature and time, which is very helpful. Another cool feature about it is that you could put an entire chicken in this oven, which a lot of other appliances you can't really do in this like market, so that's awesome. Throwing a chicken in there mindlessly, waiting an hour and coming back and it's done, and you have the probe to your temperature so you know exactly what it's at, is very, very useful. I like this because it's super, you could change what you're throwing in there just by the racks that they're giving you. You could put a small amount of things in there, you could put a huge chicken in there, you could just do toasting things. Another thing that was a huge surprise to me, which I'm genuinely excited about, is the dehydrator, which I don't have a dehydrator, and that's kind of an odd thing to... It's a different appliance that you'd have to buy. Your oven doesn't dehydrate, your microwave doesn't dehydrate. So it has these weird, like, special things that you wouldn't even think of buying in itself. And then you go, oh, I'm going to dehydrate fruit. Oh, I'm going to dehydrate beef jerky. So that's one of my other favorite things about this. I've been using it for about 3 or 4 weeks, and so far it's been awesome. I'm excited to see what else I can cook. I'm going to look up all these recipes of things to air fry, all these things to just toast. And I'm going to modify those from what they tell you to do in a regular oven or a microwave and throw it in this, because this is extremely quick, it's safe, you can see everything that's going on, it tells you what to do, and I highly recommend the NuWave Bravo.